As a dentist, you're definitely going to be making more than 100,000. Hey there, thanks for tuning in. Let's talk about how you can work as a dentist in the UK. This video is actually geared up for the overseas dentists that are looking to practice in the UK after finishing their BDS or their bachelor's abroad. As you already know, I'm studying my dentistry degree in Egypt at the moment, and I advocate all of my friends and all of the professionals that are not currently working in the UK to get there as soon as possible. So it used to be quite difficult to get into the UK because of the Overseas Registration Exam, also known as the ORE. There were very limited spaces, the seats were very hard to come by, and most recently with COVID, there was a massive backlog. Recently, the government has actually increased the number of seats, and we're going to get into that now to make it very easy for you to understand the process and all it takes for you to end up working in the UK as a successful dentist. So what is the ORE, right? It's a licensing exam for anybody that qualified outside of the EU or the UK that wants to practice as a dentist in the UK itself. So what you'll need is your degree itself, complete with a letter of good standing from your dean. That kind of highlights that you have got the correct number of hours, which is around 1,600 clinical hours of dental practice in the country that you are studying in or have studied in. This should be quite easy to come by because in your clinical years you're going to cover these hours quite easily. If you do an internship, then you'll definitely have it covered without any problem. With this, plus a reference and any other pieces of information that are found at the GDC website, which I've linked below and also will be in my blog, you can find out all the little things that they require before you actually apply. Once you've got that in order, all you need to do is again go to that website, register online, follow the steps, get everything sent in, and then just wait for your eGDC registration number. From this point, you'll then apply for the ORE Part 1 exam, which I've highlighted in my blog what it contains, and there's links in there for you to understand a bit more. But as a bit of a summary, it's just a theory exam split into two parts that you will cover most of the things that you've covered in university. It kind of replicates what a brand new UK graduate will have the knowledge of. So as long as you can pass that, then you're clear through part 1. After this, you'll go into the pool for part 2. You'll apply for this as a separate exam, and it covers 5 principles, which are again found in the blog and in the GDC website or on the GDC website. These 5 things, once you've covered them, you pass that all through. It's more of a practical side of things with OSCEs, clinical questions. You're going to be dealing with role plays with people that are acting as patients. You'll then be assessed on how well you do, and then from there, if you pass all of that, you've basically done everything you need to become a registered dentist in the UK. They do take the language quite seriously, so obviously if you have an IELTS or IELTS score of above 6.5, I think it's an overall average of 7, you'll be completely fine without any issues. Once you're done with all this, you'll be able to register as a dentist in the UK. Think of visa and all the rest of it should be super easy because we are looking for dentists in the workforce all the time within the UK. So what does the salary look like for British dentists or dentists that are registered in the UK? For the first year, foundation year, you're looking at a minimum of £32,000 to £34,000 if you work directly with the NHS on a foundation program. If you're doing your foundation outside, then you can earn a potential of around £50,000 on average in your foundation year alone. You will then learn what it takes to be an NHS dentist or a state dentist, and at the same time, you'll pick up what's needed to do private work. Now, the private work is where you get most of the money that we look at when we look at being a dentist. And this is what I'm always banging on about, that when you're a dentist in the UK, there is a huge earning potential. There's definitely more than a realistic chance of you earning more than £100,000 in your second year alone. Now, there's people online like Lancashire Smiles. It's a guy who's a dentist. He's been a dentist in the UK for some time, and he explains his salary breakdown as well. Very good to try and watch his videos, and I'll try to link that as well. He explains that in his second year alone, he was earning more than £100,000. So it's not something which is unrealistic. It's very, very realistic if you are doing private work, and if you timetable your work correctly, if you look after your patients in the right way, and you do a good job, which you should be able to do. So long as you're piecing the NHS work and the private work together, and you have a good schedule on a weekly basis. The other thing in the UK, which is nice and easy to get into, are the courses. So composite bonding, Invisalign, veneers. You can go into very easy and quick courses within the UK that may take a weekend at most to do. Might cost you, a few £100 to £1,000 to get the accreditation for that specific course, but then you're selling that product to your patients. And in most cases in the UK, a lot of patients that come for private work are very, very conscious about their aesthetic appearance. So if you're providing the services to deal with that, you'll be able to charge a premium for your level of handiwork. This is where you really get into that financial freedom element of things, and you're earning a lot. You're taking home more than that, £100,000 a month. So that's a quick breakdown of what it takes to become a dentist in the UK. It's pretty straightforward. It's all highlighted in my blog, so check that out in the description below. Make sure to go onto the GDC website for further information, stay up to date, and of course, like, subscribe, and give me your comments in the comment box below, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks. Bye bye.